interesting, isn't it, that just before the Dunstan by-election, when Labor had voted this legislation down so many times, it suddenly agrees to it. So short-term political benefit could very well be a motivating factor in that. The Libs had tried. David Spears 10 times, I think, had put this legislation, independent members bill, up to try and get corflutes banned in South Australia. The former government tried, the Marshall government, and every time the bill was rejected in the upper house, SA Best voted against it with the Labor Party. Now the government voted against it. The government now saying, well, you know what, we're going to support this, and so corflutes are out. But it seems not quite. Heidi Girolamo from the opposition on the line.
So whilst we're very supportive of corflutes being banned, and finally the Labor Party came to the party and supported it after voting against it some 10 times, and of course, as you mentioned in the previous Parliament as well. But there were amendments that were put through that the Labor Party and the Greens put forward, where increasing the number of corflutes on display per candidate from 6 through to 12. And we still feel that that's far too many, in that we do risk a sea of corflutes on election day still being present. And we thought 6 per candidate was more than enough, and there's also 6 for the upper house. So going from 6 through to 12 means that there could be, if there's 5 candidates on a booth, you could have over 60 corflutes present on election day on a single booth. So whilst it's good that we've been able to see the outcome, this is something that David Spears has been pushing for a very long time. At the same time, we are concerned that the Labor Party and Greens have watered it down. And also, with the timing of the Dunstan by-election, this is really at the 11th hour for the Electoral Commissioner to consider some of these amendments, which I think further complicate things. We would have liked to have seen the Labor Party support this over a year ago. The Labor Party at the last election had copious amounts of corflutes on every single booth. 12 is just, from our perspective, isn't a particularly green measure. These corflutes are being banned because they're not very good for the environment, but also for South Australians, being able to see a massive sea of corflutes on election day is concerning.
I suppose sooner there than all over the suburbs, though, as you're driving along in your car and you're bombarded by political messages. So
yeah,
I guess you'll take that win.
Oh, 100%. This is a huge win, I think, for David Spears having pushed this for so long, but importantly, it's a huge win for South Australians as well.
All right, Heidi Girolamo, thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks so much.
Corflutes are not disappearing, folks. More of them at the polling place, from 6 to 12 per candidate. It's going to be a sea of corflutes when you turn up to vote, but at least they're not on the streets. That's something.